Honorable Mayors, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to address this 2020 International Mayors Forum. I thank the United Nations Office for Sustainable Development for this opportunity to share some of UNDESA's insights in promoting local finance across the globe. Strengthening local government finance to help achieve the SDGs is a timely topic. Local governments are the frontline responders in the COVID-19 crisis. Yet, with revenue losses of up to 60%, you face a Herculean task in mobilizing the resources needed to respond to the crisis and to recover from its economic and social impacts. Strengthening local development finance will be key in building back better. The 2015 Addis Ababa Action Agenda on Financing for Development provides the framework for financing the SDGs. In our work with local governments in implementing the Addis Agenda, we have gleaned some key insights on local finance. I'd like to share these with you now. First, improving local finance is a global development imperative. Urban economies account for approximately 80% of global GDP. Improving their financial health will be critical to ensure the SDGs deliver for the poorest and most vulnerable people. The pandemic makes clear local governments are the first line of defense in times of crisis, whether of a health, climate, or geophysical nature. Second, local finance in countries with special needs is particularly challenging and deserves special attention. Local governments in these countries have limited resources to deal with the significant economic, social, and environmental impacts of megatrends, such as rapid urbanization, changes to the global economic environment, climate change, and increased vulnerability to natural disasters. Third, although many governments in developing countries have taken steps towards decentralization in political, fiscal, and administrative spheres, implementation remains uneven. Often mandates increase, but finance does not follow. It is therefore critical to ensure that decentralization is well sequenced and well resourced. Fourth, sound public financial and asset management is a prerequisite for successful service delivery at the local level. Management reforms tend to deliver results where they take into account local institutional capacities and are led by effective coordination arrangements to monitor and guide the process. Allow me, in this context, to draw your attention to our upcoming handbook on infrastructure asset management, which UNDESA will launch early next year with the UN Capital Development Fund. Jean will work closely with our team to put together a webinar for you on this important topic later this year. Fifth, while local revenues in developing countries remain insufficient to meet local development needs, important progress has been made where revenue mechanisms embrace a set of key principles. They include revenue adequacy, tax buoyancy, stability, correspondence between tax payments and tax benefits, as well as administrative and political feasibility and equity. At the same time, intergovernmental transfers make sense as part of the division of responsibilities between the central and local government, based on their core advantages and competencies. Central governments have inherent advantages in generating revenues, and local and regional governments have inherent advantages in producing certain key services. Importantly, in times of crises, central governments need to increase fiscal support and ensure that fiscal stimulus measures reach the local level where they are needed most. Sixth, given the enormous local infrastructure financing needs, we should explore new market-based borrowing mechanisms to leverage and scale up local revenues. Government can help promote these mechanisms by building local capacity for project development, improving local creditworthiness, including through asset management reforms, promoting local rating industries, using credit enhancement and risk mitigation tools, and creating a conducive legal and regulatory framework for local finance that balances financial stability concerns with greater access to credit. Moreover, National and municipal development banks or funds can play an important role in supporting and pioneering innovative financing mechanisms. In these efforts, we must remain practical and realistic. Very few local governments in developing countries have access to private finance. A careful assessment of the local context, institutional, political, and financial, must determine if and where such instruments deserve further consideration. Last but not least, there is much room to improve international cooperation on local finance. We need to focus on partnership development, better coordination, and a more focused division of labor in all areas of local finance. Donor engagement must be structured in a way that allows for a systematic handoff of projects to the local partner to ensure sustainability and scaling up of successful interventions. Honorable Mayors, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some of our key insights on strengthening local government finance for the SDGs, including in the context of COVID-19 response and recovery. I would have been thrilled to join you in person. I warmly welcome you to engage in our various UN platforms dedicated to advancing financing for sustainable development. This includes our multi-stakeholder Development Cooperation Forum, where mayors and local authorities have been key players from the outset, and our policy dialogues on how taxation can help increase the resilience of economies, public health systems, and climate response. I thank you and my fellow panelists for your attention. I wish you all a very productive session.